Oh boy.
I've been playing Ratchet and Clank, dude. God, that game is so awesome.
All right, we are live. So move over, kids. Welcome to the show. I wanted to talk to Bandana. Did anyone watch the Xbox E3 today? Because
I did.
I didn't.
Okay, you did. So I know Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC. I'm just not gonna even include. If I say exclusive, I just mean it's exclusive to the console, not to PC. Is Fallout though, or what's the deal?
There is no Fallout 5, so
At least right
But will
now.
it be?
Who knows? They unveiled some Fallout 76 stuff. That community's gone.
They're still riding that hard. I mean, I'm actually tempted to try to play that again just because of that.
I think they turned it around.
It's a
Used to be- used
it's
to
a
be
No
crap.
Man Land.
Yeah, they pretty much pulled a No Man's Sky.
Oh wow, they did. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, No Man's Sky is actually pretty fun now.
Yeah. Same thing with what's that other game that released pretty bad? Then they turned it around. God, I can't remember.
Super
Not
Mario
too
Brothers.
Oh,
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about.
David, you're lost.
Regardless, though, do you think Fallout will be then, based upon the trend that they're doing right now? I need
Looks
to know:
like
do I
it.
get an Xbox or do I get a PlayStation?
I mean, it's probably going to happen.
So I should get an
Probably gonna
Xbox
be-
then.
Yeah, I mean, why not both? That's my question
I
here.
don't want to spend $1,000 for like 2 games.
What
But-
if they drop that killer app on each one?
Well, the killer app right now isn't it on PlayStation? Isn't it Spider-Man and maybe New Horizon Dawn?
Mm,
I would say right now it's Ratchet and Clank
Nope.
and Spider-Man.
No
both
interest
from
in Ratchet and Clank, so that's not a killer app to me.
They're both from Insomniac, so it's a AAA studio that's the big draw right now.
So, like, literally, I'd be spending like $600 to play Spider-Man.
And then another $600 to play Fallout 5. A potential Fallout 5.
I don't know. In your spot, I would probably just wait longer just to see what happens.
What's up, Hardcore Gamer and Ista Patel?
But it's at to the point where you're pretty much forced by the idiot scalpers to wait longer, whether you wanted to or not.
I bet I could get an Xbox. Like, those seem to come up a little more regularly.
Well, actually, no, I lied. I did see the Series S in the store the other day for some reason. So, but yeah, I would say probably wait a little bit just to see what comes out. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun on the PS5 with Returnal and Resident Evil 8, but that's not an exclusive, but it just looks really pretty.
David, what should I buy? I really like Fallout and Red Dead Redemption and stuff, but Red Dead, I guess, is not everything.
But Fallout's not a thing right now. Like, it doesn't exist. So it
It
can't
exists
really,
in my heart.
I mean, if it exists, then watch it be another 3 years until it comes out.
But what else exists? The good old John Brown.
Yeah, a little late. I pulled a
Hey.
David.
Hey,
Reasonably late.
I wanted to-
Bandana, they're not giving me, like, the straight answers. They're giving me, like, political answers.
Well, they're the worst. What
Should
can,
I get the Xbox or the PlayStation? Because is Bethesda's Starfield or whatever is exclusive, but will Fallout?
it seems that way. It
Why?
seems going forward because Starfield they are hoping for it to be on the level of Fallout. Starfield is Bethesda Studios, which is the Fallout and Skyrim studio.
Uh-huh.
This is what they've invested their time in. This has been a project that's been multiple years in the works by their main studio.
Do you
And-
think that they're trying to use Starfield to kind of just push Fallout to the wayside now?
No. It might be. Now, I will be honest. I don't know when we're going to get the next Fallout because the Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls 6 will be next.
Elder Scrolls 6 isn't going to be exclusive, is it?
It will be exclusive.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. That's
Elder
going to be the thing that
Scrolls
drives
6?
me to the
Elder
Series
Scrolls?
X.
Everything they indicated today coming out of Bethesda is PC and Xbox exclusive. Redfall, the next game from Arcane, which is a Bethesda studio, what they closed the show with, that's an Xbox exclusive. And they were so clear to make sure they were communicating that stuff is Xbox exclusive.
That Redfall did look pretty cool.
I mean, the Redfall thing had a line at the bottom that said Xbox exclusive. Starfield had the thing at the bottom that said Xbox exclusive. Not launch exclusive, not timed exclusive. They have gone full in on Xbox. So now my bigger thing, and I think the question for you to consider.
I'm considering it. I'm already considering it. Whatever the question is, I'm considering it.
Other than Xbox and PlayStation is.
Should I get a PC?
No, well, I mean.
No, Jesus, you'll be lucky if you can find the parts right now.
Yeah, well, there is that. Should
I quit
Microsoft
video games and become a priest?
Xbox's big thing, and they showed that today, is Game Pass. They honestly care more about people subscribing to Game Pass than they do about buying hardware. If they launch a streaming version of Game Pass on the Switch, which Phil Spencer at the pre-watch party had his shelf with that, he puts clues up and red herrings. The thing on the top shelf was a Switch. If the Switch can stream a high quality version of Fallout or all this, do you get an Xbox?
Do I get a?
Do you still get an Xbox or PlayStation 5 if you can subscribe to a service and just get it on your Switch?
I probably just subscribe to the service because I don't honestly, I like physical games and stuff, but to tell you the truth, physical games don't really appeal to me that much unless it's a Nintendo physical game for some reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing. Game Pass. David and I were talking about this as we were watching the Xbox presentation. I will guarantee, Sony is outselling Microsoft right now. I will guarantee Xbox is attaching that service way more than PlayStation Plus is getting attached. Game Pass is a freaking phenomenal service.
Well, PlayStation Plus isn't really anything like it, though.
How does Game Pass work? Is it just you subscribe for a year and you get a bunch of stuff?
No, you can. I think it's $15 a month for the Ultimate.
Yeah, it's $15 a month for the Ultimate. It connects it to the PC and Xbox Live, and everything is all together.
Android streaming, and it's kind of like Netflix. You have games. If you have an Xbox, you download them, so you're running them natively. And then you can stream on phones now, and you can hook up an Xbox controller to a phone. The streaming is okay. It depends on your Wi-Fi or your cellular network.
I did try. It's awkwardly kind of cool.
It is really cool. I got a $30 tablet and just tried playing Gears of War 5 on it. It was awesome. So that's the thing. They want people subscribed to that service.
So would they have Fallout 5 on it?
Yeah, everything they're making will be first day on Game Pass.
Dude, I am so hyped for Back 4 Blood being on that.
And then now they're getting other companies to launch first day on that.
That's the killer app right there when it comes to Xbox and Game Pass.
So,
they're throwing
Game Pass
those games on day one.
Every game,
every game that Microsoft makes, the first day it's released, you have access to it
for $15 a month.
Yeah.
So why do people just buy the physical copies then?
Most people are starting to trend that.
Do they just double dip?
Every Microsoft game, and then they've started making deals.
What do you mean deals?
Warner Brothers is publishing Bad for Blood, which is the game me and Devin are super hyped about. Little Horns. And it's going to be it will launch on Game Pass the first day it's out. You can download it off of Game Pass
and the beta too. I'm pretty sure the beta is exclusive to Game Pass too.
So people like physical copies of something. They buy Game Pass and then they're paying $15 a month and then they just go and buy something to kind of like how you buy a digital game and a physical game.
Yeah,
The way I'm kind of justifying is that I'm just paying $15 a month for Xbox Live, and it has those added
it
bonuses.
has some. I mean, it now has all of Bethesda's back catalog.
What's Xbox Live then?
It's
I mean,
it's now
the online service. It's all attached.
Yeah, you can play online. It's now attached to Game Pass.
What games do
Originally,
you play
it wasn't.
online, Devin?
Well, I like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff. I haven't really been playing a lot of online specifically on my Xbox in quite a while, but I mainly keep it because of Game Pass. They originally weren't connected.
You just said you
and
justify it, but with it's free.
what?
Never mind.
Okay. But they originally weren't connected, and that actually sold me on it because when they connected to them.
Yeah. He was subscribing to Xbox Live, and then they merged him into Game Pass Ultimate, and that's what made him pick up Game Pass.
Yeah,
but now you're more Game Pass than Live.
basically, yeah. I mean, it's just because I haven't really had a lot of online games on the Xbox specifically that I really want to play lately.
Well, I mean, and we played Minecraft Dungeons, which was
I just keep it open for things like that. I'm not like a big Call of Duty gamer. Like I'll throw on like zombies or anything like that, but that's about all I'll do, and just random other stuff.
So, I will say, if you think Bethesda games are your main draw, they are very clear Xbox exclusive.
What if it doesn't come out for like 3 or 4 years though? Because Starfield is like first person, right? I don't like first person games.
Starfield is going to be the same kind of game that Fallout is.
But it's first person.
Fallout's first person too.
No,
Yeah, you can change the first and third.
My assumption is it will be like Fallout, that you can change from first to third.
You assume.
I mean, it's on the same engine, so.
What if you're wrong though?
I mean, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I don't know. This was supposed to be a deciding day for me, and I'm still not. I don't know, but
But Xbox is releasing a mini fridge. That literally, I looked at it. I'm like, that can't be real, but it is. That is so funny.
I don't know. Should I? Okay, consensus. What do you guys say? Take a vote right now.
All of us?
Yeah. Should I buy an
say
Xbox or
you're
a PlayStation?
Bethesda. You're pretty locked onto it, so I would say
you're locked onto Bethesda. If you're locked onto Game Pass, I mean, I don't know. Like, are you? I have to have it at the best quality, like the highest resolution.
No.
I would, dude. If that's the way, I would look at the Xbox Series S. I mean, it's got a lot of the same features.
I almost don't want to buy a digital-only console on principle, though. Even if I don't ever buy a physical, like.
Then I say blessings to you, and I say, yeah, I will say right now it's hard to push either one. You know, Ratchet and Clank is kind of like the first killer app that has come out. That's exclusive to a console,
Which I have no interest in, though.
He has no interest in that. Yeah.
He might like Returnal, but that's really the only thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, if Bethesda is your thing, which you've said multiple times outside of that, that is clearly going to be Microsoft. Now, I can't tell you when you're going to get a Fallout game.
What if they do a Kingdom Hearts and I buy a PS3 and I don't even get Kingdom Hearts?
Wait, what?
Kingdom Hearts. I bought a PS3 so I could play Kingdom Hearts, and they wasn't even released on it.
Oh, I mean, anything's a gamble, man. Like you got to roll that dice sometimes in life, you know.
Yeah.
It works. You know, you can't be Dante, man. You got to, you know, or get off the pot. Yeah. If you want a next generation console, if Bethesda is a high benchmark for you, to me it's Xbox.
But I've only touched an Xbox controller like once.
Do you have a Pro controller?
Yeah.
You have a Pro controller?
It's pretty much the same then.
You've touched an Xbox controller.
I don't know. This.
Why
do I hate Xbox so much? Like, was there something that happened to like all gamers that made us hate it?
I don't know, man. Like, you know,
Did you guys hate Xbox for a while before you jumped in?
No.
Were you guys just like, cool, another system?
Ever since the first Halo game, I've been pretty Xbox.
You are using a Surface tablet, like right now, to stream this out. Like, there's no reason for you to hate Xbox if you're using a Surface computer.
I'm not actually. I actually have a PC and stuff, like a desktop.
I'm using a Surface.
Are you running Windows?
Yes.
Then there's no reason for you to hate Microsoft.
I don't hate Microsoft. I hate Xbox.
Okay.
Oh my
I
god.
like if that's your thing, man. Like if you've decided that's a bigger hang up than Bethesda.
I'm trying to figure out why I hate Xbox.
Well, I've got some
There's
therapists. They can help
Just
you work
simply
through
no
that.
pleasing you now.
Hey, let's talk this about. Like when you
I
were
played
young, what was
Fable.
your first memory
I
of
played
Xbox?
Fable and was not impressed. And
You
that was
didn't
one of
like
their big.
Fable?
That was one of their bigger games. Like Fable 3, they're coming out and people are like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ken, this might take some time. I don't know if we have enough time on the podcast to help you through these issues. First you got to be honest. Like, where did the Xbox hurt you?
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Show me on the doll where it touched
Maybe
you.
like, just like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you've heard people say they don't like Xbox before. Maybe because it's
I mean, but
American.
I've
Is it
also
because
heard
it's American. Maybe.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just archaic console war. Nintendo. It's just a new version of Nintendo versus Sega, which seems really silly to me now because at least the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis were like very different hardware and could do different things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
These are nearly identical when you get to the parts level. So there is some diehard Sony fandom out there. I'll give you that.
I'm not even
I
that big
think-
of a fan of Sony, to tell you the truth. They're just a secondary console.
Yeah, I think I personally like Xbox. I like that controller. I like that platform, and I like that ecosystem.
What about RPGs and stuff? Does Xbox get those?
Well, I mean, now they have. I mean, right now, Xbox is the premier platform for Western RPGs because of who they now own. I mean, they own Bethesda, which is Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield. They've got Obsidian's new game coming. They've got the Pillar of Eternity's team, or that's Obsidian.
What about Final Fantasy? Steven says, or
Final JRPGs are
Stefan.
fairly firmly on PlayStation. Now, the game they announced today, Final Fantasy Souls, will be on both. The demo will be on PS5 first. But I mean, Square pretty much. I mean, even Final Fantasy 16 is a timed exclusive. So that will come and probably will be on Game Pass when it does come to Xbox.
all right. Well, what else did Xbox do today?
I will say the big thing they did show today, which I was really surprised, and I can't remember the name. David, I hope you do, was the Suikoden spiritual success.
I don't remember the name, but I do remember seeing it. That was really
That
cool.
appeared on the Xbox stage, and that is you can't get much more JRPG than Suikoden.
And E3 2019, they made an effort to start bringing some JRPGs to the Xbox, like with Phantasy Star Online.
Hey guys, I gotta dip out for a second. I gotta make a phone call real quick. I'm just gonna mute myself though.
Okay,
Keep
go
going.
order that Xbox. We'll understand.
I might.
All right, so looking at this, I feel like we've got when we get off this podcast, we got to take time and be there for Ken because he's clearly working through some things. I don't know what Xbox did or hurt him, but David, you've been quiet through all of this.
Man, I just woke up. I fell asleep
David,
to the Square
sleepy.
Enix podcast,
Well, most people fell asleep during the Square Enix broadcast.
and I woke up about 45 minutes ago.
So
And
how would you rate today's E3 announcements that we've gotten so far?
from Xbox specifically, or
Today, which is Xbox and
today, I would probably say a solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Hey,
What excited you?
Hey, Malcolm, how are you? You know
Definitely
me?
Forza. I didn't jump into
You
that
should answer
ever,
like that all the time,
and I
though.
think this would be a good place for me to jump in there
You're
into
like,
that
"Fuck
franchise. It's very nice.
Question:
Let's see.
Like Daniel
Definitely
needs to
what,
finish his learning zones. I
Bethesda
know he's
showed
there right
off.
now. I know
All
Joel
of
is
it
there.
looked pretty
even.
cool.
Would
Halo
you be
looks,
okay if we took Daniel off the floor for a little bit?
looks
and
cool.
Put him on learning
They,
zone.
I
they
just don't know-
definitely improved on Halo. They definitely came out and said, "Hey, we know y'all said it sucked last time. Here
yeah,
it
would
looks
you be
better
okay
now."
with that? Because
Yeah,
I
I
really
just don't
need to
know
get
if
these done
if
before
it's-
we're out of late.
I'm not saying it doesn't look ready. It's just that it's a AAA title, and I don't know if
All
it's
right, let
really
me
going to come out
let me
this
talk
year.
to Joel, and I'll get.
I
Joel
would say
to
probably
set 'em
early
up.
next year, maybe like first quarter.
I think honestly, I think they have to ship it even if it's broken.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that though. I don't think Bungie's
Well,
gonna.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
I hate to say this. I feel like Halo's dated. I feel like Halo's had its time.
Yeah.
In a way.
I would say the campaign.
I played Halo 2 the other day, and I'm like, this is
Joel,
so
Ken.
slow.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
I
I-
need you to get Daniel on
playing
his learning zones.
First-person
before you
shooters
leave,
now, like it
now
just
if you
doesn't
can,
hold
because I
up
need
the same
him to
way.
get
I mean, it was
learning zone
groundbreaking
done.
in its day, and that's great.
That's the whole thing of why I thought like I've
looked
been
at his
playing
thing,
on my
and he had,
PS5
32
with
things
Returnal
left
for
to do. I was
a couple
shocked.
weeks
I
now,
thought he was
like
almost
pretty
done.
like
And
nonstop.
so
I love that
I
game.
need him to get this
I
done
went and
before
tried to play something on my
Tuesday,
Xbox
even.
One
So
and
can you,
legitimately
get him
felt like I
started,
had input lag.
immediately?
I still feel like you had some other problem going on.
No, first world
Or
problem.
you're
is
too
no.
much
Because
fanboy.
when he first
Shut
got
up.
here, we almost
No,
put
but
him on
I
the
tried to play
line
something
right
on my
away,
Xbox and I
and
felt
he
like I
didn't.
had input
I
lag
thought he was
just
done with
because of
learning
like
zone,
what
he's
you
not.
just said. Things feel weird and slow now.
Well, I will say, like, Master Chief is just a
So,
slow-moving
like-
character.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, he
Huh?
doesn't run
Oh.
in 2.
It's
No.
Moss
But,
Heart.
so, David, going back to Forza, and I have to say it was so awesome to be watching Forza with you as you're going, is that Texas? Is that Mexico? Is that game for me?
No, it's just it's just
It was made for me.
no wait.
Like,
It's Moss
I'm
Heart.
very
No, it's
impressed
just
that there was definitely
MASHEART.
a
It's just
team.
Moss Heart.
Microsoft definitely sent a team and paid for all of it to really get
S.
what the feeling is of
H-E.
Mexico. I mean, like, there's that meme that
ART.
Mexico in movies is just like a yellow filter over everything. This is not that. And this is actually, like, these are places that I've been to. And it's very nostalgic. And I think that it pays, like, huge respect
Yeah,
to the
just
country of Mexico in terms
Literally
of what
the
it
first
is.
stuff that he has to do to be
Like,
on the floor.
You know, there
We
was a
never
lot
got
of
it done.
areas there.
We
I've
just
never really been
overlooked
to the
it. And I
coast,
don't
maybe
work
like a
with him
couple
lot,
times
so
in my
I guess
life, but
I didn't really follow up like I should.
there were some locales within like central Mexico that I'm just like, wow, this is
All right.
this is beautiful.
And
I've
do you want to stay later
I like
tonight
that it's
or
open
no? 'Cause
world.
I know you
It's
gotta
not
work
just
at
like
10:45
tracks
in the
because
morning.
racing games are fun until you've played all the tracks several
And you'd have
times.
to take
and then
you'd
you're
have to
just
take
like,
a
oh,
break
whatever,
too, because I
you
know
know?
you're at like 5
You
hours
can play
like, on the dot. or
Horizon for hours.
Yeah.
And hours. And just, like, and not even
if you
race.
feel like staying to 11,
Just driving around
do
the
it.
world
So like,
is
so Daniel
great.
can be off the floor.
It's like
longer,
it's like
but,
Grand Theft
try-
Auto, but
tell
you don't
Daniel,
actually ever
that's
get
up
out
to
of the
you.
car.
I'm not gonna make you or anything, but
Yeah, and it's I think
Oh,
that
Ken, accidentally unmuted. Did I
graphic
unmute?
wise, it looks
Am I
beautiful.
muted right now?
I don't know what I mean. Some of those they were talking about photogrammetry
So,
or something,
Just
Yeah,
they
they
just-
do a lot of fancy tech talk
do
for how they
that.
made it pretty.
See if you can
and
get.
there were some moments where I was like, that looks just like
If you want to stay,
footage, like real footage from the desert.
Dude, and like I hate to keep beating this, but like I am so stoked like how hard they hit Game Pass. Because so much of like most of their presentation, they're like launches on Game Pass day one. Like that's like there's so like Halo, I love that series. I have all of them. But it always I hate buying them at the start. Right when they come out because they drop. Those like every Halo game is $5 by the end of the console's life.
Yeah.
And I'm loving like Game Pass. Like I will play Halo day one, and then like a year or two later I can go pick it up for $10.
Right.
And like now Game Pass has the entire Yakuza franchise and
oh
That
god.
was another
kinds
thing.
of stuff.
That was
Yeah, if you
huge,
want
man.
Yeah, if you want great RPGs, go play the Yakuza series. And if you have an Xbox, go play them on Game Pass because Yakuza Like a Dragon is such a love letter to Dragon Quest and other role-playing games. And it's such a tongue-in-cheek, fun game. I come back to, once again, that David, that is the game that you have to play, being the fan of Japanese culture that you are.
You're saying it's a David as David game, right?
Mhm.
Yes. I say.
I think that because some of those titles are not the easiest to find, like physical,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, especially the ones on the PS2.
Oh yeah.
But so that's cool that it's all on one area. I know you could. I don't know if you could do that on PlayStation Plus,
I
but
don't think so.
You can't download them, but I mean they all are on PlayStation because of the Kiwami, the remakes. So, Devin,
Yes, sir.
Since we talked about David-ass games, Devin-ass games, which are what I define as creepy as hell games. Has there been anything in this E3 season that has stroked that creepy feeling for you?
Well, obviously, Back for Blood. Redfall, watched that like cinematic trailer. I don't know what it will be gameplay wise, but it does look really neat. I like the vampires and everything, so that was cool. Honestly, I didn't really get the chance to watch any of these videos. I've really been just following Wario64 and watching what he's been dropping. So right now, that's all I really, off the top of my head, know. I'm assuming you know some more.
I'm trying to think. I mean, everything now has like a really kind of. I mean, you can't deny Hideo Kojima's impact on video games right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like everybody trying to be the Beatles. Everyone's trying to be Hideo Kojima right now and have a little bit of creepiness.
Well, think about like he created PT on that PS4, one of like, in my opinion, the creepiest video games to ever exist. And then Death Stranding and all that stuff. He knows how to make a pretty game.
Well, him and Guillermo definitely like made a love letter with PT to Junji Ito, which
Junji Ito, you mean?
yeah, and
Oh yeah.
I think that I don't know. I mean, PT was awesome, but it definitely influenced things from Capcom and other survival horror games.
Oh, it for sure did. There ever since then. I noticed there's parts of it in Resident Evil 8. Yeah. They had like little nods to it there.
Well, I mean, 7 with the kitchen demo.
Mm-hmm.
That literally is like, in my opinion, is if PT existed under Capcom, because I think Capcom saw what happened. PT, you got to remember, PT happened in 2014, a long time ago. And Capcom, I think, capitalized on that, in that they're like, well, Konami and Kojima, they're having this thing, whatever. Let's also kind of reboot our horror series. Mm-hmm. And I think, in my opinion, I think that Kitchen was born to do what PT couldn't. And now we're looking at probably the highest the franchise has ever been. So, and it's apparent. If you look at Outlast, if you look at, I don't know, other horror games, first person is, especially, you'll see that there's clear, like, homages almost to PT.
Yeah. Oh, there is.
Well, it's so crazy to me that essentially a demo has changed the genre. Like,
well, John, have you ever had the chance to actually try it?
No, I know it's great. I'm just it's like when you
mind-altering level of creepy. Like that was one of the best horror things I've ever played in my life.
I can't believe Konami dropped the ball on that so hard.
That game would have been just perfect.
They just saw more in pachinko machines, and as I know that sounds like a overgeneralization, but at the end of the day, the business got really greedy with money, and they knew that they could sustain the company by just having MGS3 pachinko machine, and it's like,
for God's sake, they're having Silent Hill characters in that Super Bomberman R online game before I get a new Silent Hill game.
Are they really?
Yeah, they have the nurse, they have Pyramid Head. There's also various other characters in there, like the Simon Belmont and all kinds of crap.
I was gonna say that game has essentially become the Konami Smash Brothers equivalent.
It really is. It's a fun game though. I would say,
Xbox would have easily been a 10, JB.
If the thing I talked about happened.
Which one?
If Konami had bought, if Xbox had announced they bought Konami and brought Hideo on.
Well, that obviously would have been like a 12 out of 10. But if Death Stranding was announced on Xbox,
well, we already got the confirmation that Death Stranding is coming to PS5 now.
Yeah, I think Sony paid a lot to develop that. I can't imagine that's never going to be not exclusive.
Well,
the new Hideo Kojima game, because they don't own Kojima Productions, that could go anywhere.
Yeah, you're right. And the only reason why I say that about Death Stranding, knowing that it was made by that Sony paid so much money, is because this year we saw a game an Xbox game that had PlayStation Studios on it, right? On the box cover. So I just say, maybe there was this thing where they struck a deal and they can, put it on Xbox, because when I was around August, September, when the PS5 was like gearing up to like launch and they were showcasing off the system and whatnot, Death Stranding, I mean, it's not even 2 years old, but I was saying, like, how does Death Stranding play on PS5? And there was something that there was a cap, a FPS cap on it for 30 frames.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game is still new. This game still has legs on it. When are they gonna announce like a 60 FPS version of it, or a next gen version? And they were oddly quiet. Like everywhere I looked, nothing was really said. And even Kojima was like, yeah, we're probably not going to be looking into anything else with Death Stranding. But then on Twitter, he surprised us when there was like the director's cut.
Yeah, that is coming to PS5, right?
Yeah, and that was, I'm so excited because I have Death Stranding. I haven't played it, but if I could
just play it too, I'm gonna pick it up on the PS5 if they actually do that.
If I could pull a Final Fantasy VII remake intergrade type situation, where I could just plug it in my PS5 and essentially do a free upgrade and maybe pay like a few more for the, I'm gonna assume that there's added content, like serious added content, then I'm a happy camper. But I really wanted to see that on Xbox today. But
I didn't expect to see Death Stranding, but I would have loved to hear them announce some partnership with Kojima.
Maybe next year, like you were saying, next year's going to be crazy for Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the thing right now. I do want to give, like, the games we are getting this year, or that were supposed to come out this year, were the games that were the most impacted by COVID. If you think of development cycles.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these were the games in middle or starting when everything shut down.
What's his name from Bethesda in the beginning? Like, I watched a few seconds of it where he was saying, well, we had our entire group at home working on Starfield. So, I mean, they were still going, but not at full capacity.
They were able to still keep going. But, I mean, clearly they had to drop, change, learn how to do this stuff from home. Yeah. And that's going to, I mean, games get delayed normally.
So,
I can't imagine that this year is not going to see a little like dip in the amount of stuff we're getting overall.
But now that we have creeping up, finally, Nintendo, what are we thinking really is going to happen? Because I don't know if you guys saw, GameStop, I think, dropped the ball a little while ago and put that $50 trade credit offer towards the new Nintendo Switch on their website.
Yeah, and so last time I checked, it was still up.
Yeah, it's still there. I'm very surprised, and I don't know, like, why they left that there, because, like, if that's real, that's a big goof.
Because it said new Nintendo Switch or Switch Lite. Like, it was not.
It was very specific wording.
Right, like Xbox Series X and
Switch Lite and new Nintendo Switch. Exactly what it said.
And so I mean. Yeah,
we'll see it. I just wanted to quickly say we'll see. We're gonna see this on Tuesday, right? Yeah. Like the last month, I feel like it's everybody been saying it's gonna be announced tomorrow. It's gonna be announced today. It's gonna be announced, midnight or whatever. Nothing happens. Apparently, Bloomberg insiders are like, "Oh, it's happening." Nothing's happened.
I have a feeling Nintendo's about ready to just punch us right in the face with so much crap on the 15th.
I think so.
I think Nintendo's going to just knock it out of the park. And I'm trying not to fanboy, and I'm also trying to make sure I keep my feelings in check. But I think this is Nintendo's year to really, because they've put so much close to the chest recently in all of this.
That Mario Rabbids game, Sparks of Hope, looks pretty. Like,
I was telling JB that seeing like the footage of like Mario in a spaceship looking at a map with some other Mario characters, it didn't feel like Mario, but it felt like Mario at the same time. And I was saying that it's crazy that Ubisoft, out of all, like, everyone, was giving a lot of freedom to like mess around with Mario characters and put them in spaceships and fight rabbits, and it's just crazy how that worked, but it did.
And the guns too. I
The
don't know
guns,
if that
yeah.
everybody was like. I was like, "Woo!"
JB said that
Mario
too.
Holding guns.
Well, I mean, like I said, they've given even in the first Mario Rabbids game, like they gave Ubisoft so much more freedom than they've given even internal studios
Yeah.
with
I mean,
Mario. And
yeah,
that's so
you're right.
surprising.
Paper Mario, like they can't even use unique characters anymore.
Yeah.
Like they can't have unique looking Toads anymore. There was that whole controversy, and that's why
Yeah.
Paper Mario is kind of like it's become almost like a Far Cry of what it used to be in terms of battle system, but characters. Because you know what I loved about that franchise was that they made original characters and they were quirky and funny. And now
Mhm.
Ubisoft has more freedom than an actual like Nintendo studio. I don't know.
Party studio. It's crazy.
It's nuts. But
Yeah.
JB also said that the year of COVID last year, I feel like what we're seeing now is things that I think would have been shown last year, and you know, with the world learning how to work from home and
Mhm.
doing all these,
Yeah.
just pretty much like, I guess, just working through this hardship, a world pandemic. It's we're gonna start seeing some really big stuff, probably late this year and early and next year with E3.
I think 2022 is going to be huge. I think people will have had the new consoles, development kits unchecked. You will have everything that was delayed because of the plague will be coming out. I mean, I think next year, like I said, I think this year's going to be good in terms of trickle out, and I think there will be some good games. But I think everything next year will be much bigger, and there will be so much more hype next year. But like I said, to go back to our main focus, Nintendo's going to kill it this year. I don't like the fact that they've already announced like this 40-minute presentation will focus on 2021. Now, they could come out and just give us like 35 minutes of Mario Golf and then throw a Breath of the Wild teaser out there. But, I have a little more faith in Nintendo than that.
I think they're going to rapid fire. Like, I have a feeling they're going to kind of pull what they did a little while ago and just go game, and then like console.
Yeah. I wanted to get David and Devin's perspective. I've seen some rumors, a lot of rumors. I think the most rumored thing is the new Switch. I think there's so much like if that's not there, that's going to make WandaVision look completely like the most satisfying thing. I mean, WandaVision was so great, but it was like so also overhyped by the fans' expectation of what was going to happen.
Okay. There's people still doing that with the Mephisto thing.
If new Switch is not at this thing, like everyone is going to like just lose their mind.
Table flip.
But the next big rumor thing I keep seeing is a new Metroid game, but not Prime 4. So David, what do you think would be coming out of a Metroid game right now? And what kind of experience are we looking at? Another remake? Would they remake Super?
I was thinking, Mercury Steam would give another chance to take on the Metroid franchise, and we would probably look at maybe like a remake, Fusion remake. That would be so cool. Or maybe something set near that timeline. Something that's like 2D and fast paced and kind of engaging. I think that would be really cool, and kind of hype people up for Metroid 4, which I don't think is this year at all. I definitely think it's like next year at the latest or the earliest.
That Metroid Prime 4 is going to happen on Switch anymore. Like
it's I don't think so either, man. But Mercury Steam remaking or doing something like an original Metroid title.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm anticipating. I don't know. What about you, Devin?
I would hope that it's another kind of side-scrolling game, maybe a remake like the one they did on the 3DS. I had a lot of fun with that one. It's hard as hell, but I liked it.
A 2.5 remake of either Super or Fusion or even go zero mission or remake the first one.
Mhm.
I would just be honestly happy if they threw like a collection of like the first 5 or 6 freaking Metroids on a cartridge and called it a day.
Yeah.
That is the most Devin statement.
But the
Like,
same thing.
Only if that was and they charged me $80 for it.
Shut up.
or just do the elusive Metroid trilogy, Prime trilogy that has been rumored for so many years.
That would be interesting if they did a new 2D game and then gave us the Prime trilogy.
That would be neat. I would hope it would come with that cool steelbook again, though. That's one thing I was never able to get a hold of.
But JB's right. They could give us 35 minutes of Mario Golf, and if they gave us anything Breath of the Wild, Nintendo would still win E3. Like, that's just how it is. Like,
Well, they would, yeah. Is Sony even doing anything this year?
Was my
Sony
mic still
doesn't
on?
have a presentation set up. They will. There's hints and rumors they'll do something later this summer.
you're muted, Ken.
That's kind of the E3 thing right now. Like David showed me this video. Like when we talk about E3, we don't actually talk about E3. We talk about the season when they announce stuff.
Right.
And like, I think honestly, the E3 will probably evolve or go away in a drastic way. But what we will have is a season that we will call E3.
Hey, PS5000. Hey, everyone, I'm back.
Let me just prove this. We were just wondering about Zelda. Ken, if Tuesday's Direct just showed like everything Breath of the Wild and nothing else, would you be a happy camper?
Yes.
Wait, that's not
That's
what
it.
we're asking. What if it was 35 minutes of Mario Golf and then 5 minutes of Breath of the Wild 2?
That would be the
Yeah.
best E3 I could ever
That's
imagine.
what I just said. I told you, Nintendo would win just on that alone.
Like, just even thinking about it makes me already declare Nintendo the winner, you know?
So what if Breath of the Wild was announced for Game Pass and exclusive to Xbox?
Like, I would say how much I've always loved Xbox, and that I knew from day one that Xbox would be a success.
would you see Ken the next day with like Xbox swag all
I would
behind
be
him?
like,
Xbox tattooed on the front.
Yeah, an X tattooed right here. Yeah.
I would be like, Phil Spencer is the man, and I love him. Like,
Phil Spencer's the new Reggie.
right?
Reggie, who?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
The Spencinator doesn't roll off the tongue, though.
No.
Yeah, like, no joke. Anything, like, anything. If they would just be like, oh yeah, by the way, Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild next year, and that's the whole statement, I'd be like, you know.
By the way, we're only making a 3-minute presentation. We're just going to say Breath of the Wild 2022-ish.
Just a
Maybe
thumbnail.
2024.
All they need is a thumbnail and some Zelda music, and I'm good. I'm good.
It might be on the Switch. It might be on our next console. Heck, it might just be a mobile game at this point.
I would be like, I knew it. Nintendo's brilliant going mobile to the future.
I love how much of a fanboy you are. I love it. Like, I love that devotion. Like,
Oh, it's there. Yeah, I'm
that
like,
reminds me so much of the console wars during the Sega.
I was
Nintendo.
definitely in the trenches with Nintendo, like defending them, do or die.
Nice. So, Ken, do you have the chat up? Like, I don't have the chat, so I feel like we've kind of been ignoring the chat this one while you were gone. What's going on in the chat?
Yeah, Sylvia has a question for you, JB. Says, can you summarize what Final Fantasy VII is about?
Summarize what Final Fantasy VII is about. Guy, big sword, world dying, shish kebab lady.
You heard it here, folks.
Whoa!
Don't put any money or time into developing Aerith. Ever.
Shish kebab lady.
Oh my god!
I know you had asked about the chat. I want to talk because we only got like 15 minutes. I do apologize. I had to get something done with work. I want to jump into E3 though, talk about it a little because like we saw just the other day, an E3 potential spoiler happened. Mario Rabbids 2. You guys talk about that?
A little bit.
What about it? It's
confirmed
out.
at this point.
Huh?
It's out
been
now.
announced. It's been announced.
Yeah, but that's because I think Nintendo accidentally put it on their website. So for damage control, Ubisoft just threw it out there.
I think they put it up early because it was going to be announced as a part of the Ubisoft presentation, because that's where they announced the first one.
Wasn't it like announced on a conference call or something though?
No, they put it up on the eShop, and then Ubisoft had their showcase where they showed off their games that are coming out, and that was definitely the thing that stole the show. Ubisoft got to debut that. And once again, they debuted the first one because they had Miyamoto come out on stage with one of those like blaster rifle things.
I remember that actually. That was a
So
big deal.
it is not unprecedented that Ubisoft announces the Mario Rabbids. But we did talk about, and we'd love to get your feeling on this, is they let Ubisoft do some stuff with Mario that they don't let anyone else do.
Like the gun.
The gun, the space stuff.
Well, I mean, space. He's been into space.
Yeah, but the spaceship that he was in did not look like Rosalina's tower.
Exactly, dude. It looked like Star Trek, man, which is fine.
It honestly gave me a lot of vibes with Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
like their ship.
I can see that. I think Nintendo is very much like, okay, we'll let you right now, not in the past. Nintendo's like, okay, here you go. Do what you want. And then they're very careful what they almost give you a blank check. So the studio is like, okay, we've got this. Let's treat it with the utmost respect. Let's do whatever we can to like, and then Nintendo's like, okay, do whatever you want. The first time they say do whatever you want, they don't mean it. But the second time they do. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, but considering how much they put limitation, and I want to give this credit, like David was pointing out how much limitations they put on the Paper Mario team at this point. It's crazy to see an outside company. And they did, actually, the Ubisoft team talked about when they first made the pitch to Nintendo. They brought in and kind of had like a cinematic thing. Mm-hmm. And Miyamoto asked them who gave them the assets to do Mario, and they're like, "Oh, we made those." And they're like, "He's like, you did that, like, and did it in such detail." That's what won him over. Is like, you paid this much respect.
That's what, like, from what I hear, that's how Miyamoto is. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
It's very evident with Smash Brothers. I mean, he didn't want that to happen, and then it took a lot of Iwata magic and the respect to the actual franchises that probably was like for him to give the green light. So
yeah, and I remember another time, like, there was a game that a developer was like, really made pretty much a Zelda clone, and I don't know what it is. I'm very confident in this story.
Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. That was a passion project by people. He didn't want it to happen. He didn't want a Game Boy Zelda. And they made a passion project and presented it to him. He's like, "Oh, this works," and that's why Link's Awakening is so weird.
So I think Miyamoto is very much like, I can respect it. I think in some ways I think the same way. I'm like, no, it can't happen. And then it happens, and you're like, oh yeah, totally, I'm on board. So like, he's very, on one sense, very close-minded. Very set in his ways, but at the same time also very open to ideas, and he can switch like in an instant from not believing in something to believing in something. And I'm kind of like that too. Like, I can literally be like very steadfast in a belief, and then someone tells me just one little sentence or new fact, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally right. I believe you now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. I gotta put you on hold again. I'll be right back, guys.
All right. Well, we'll amuse ourselves.
That's for sure.
Hello?
All right. I like to think I'm
Joel?
amusing.
You got it done?
Think I'm amusing.
Well, you are.
So, David, did you watch
now
Square Enix before you fell asleep?
A little bit. They were really like spending some time on Marvel stuff.
They really went in depth with Guardians.
So Guardians looks like a PS3 title, and I don't say that in a mean way. I think that like the characteristics of the characters are still very much like what they are, and I like that about them. But so I don't know if it was a stream, but the frame rate was rough.
Okay,
dude.
tell Daniel to come and watch
But
it.
if when that game comes out and if it's
And
polished,
that's the last one.
I think that would be a fun title to play.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
and glad
Thank
to
you.
see them
This
because they said
this
that
is
like
very
they
good news.
really
I was stressing
emphasized
about
like,
this, so
hey, this
I'm
is
glad
a
you
single
were
player
there, so
thing.
now I don't even
We
need
made
to
a
stay
different kind of
tuned in,
game than we
so
made
just
with
have Daniel
Avengers.
do
Like,
it,
please,
and then
please
I'll
try
OTJ it in
this.
the morning or something.
So
Right. And
It's
so
already up on pre-order too.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So just
Did
get it
you
done.
see
and I
the
appreciate
Final
it. I
Fantasy
texted you saying call me
Stranger's
as soon as
Paradise
possible.
Final Fantasy
That's what
Origins,
this was
I think
about,
is what
so
it's called.
disregard
when I
it.
was falling asleep, but I didn't do that out of
Okay,
like
thanks, Joel. I
disrespect.
appreciate
I
you.
was just really dang tired. But
It's Final Fantasy Souls, as I call it.
it's
Oh,
Koei
really?
Tecmo, right?
Yeah, it's Koei Tecmo, which I was expecting them if they got Final Fantasy, they'd do a
How can you
Final
guys hear
Fantasy
me?
Warriors game.
My
I'm
mic
kinda
is
glad
off.
it's not that.
Is it this?
Ken,
And
nothing.
you're muted.
Okay, I'm muted, right? Okay, you guys are saying I'm muted, but the chat can hear
There
me.
you go. There you go. You're back.
How does the chat hear me, but you guys don't?
Yeah, the chat just feels you. Like they have that connection with you, man. Like that they're this originated as your channel. Like that's why they're here, man.
This
Yeah,
is when we
telepathic
actually
link.
find out that Ken is the hive mind.
All right. Well, you guys, basically, there was people at my work that I needed to get off their training, so the chat knows some of the conversation. Thankfully, I wasn't, like, shit-talking you guys. But, so, anyways, what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking a bit about the Square Enix presentation. I will say the one thing that really frustrated me out of that was them announcing remasters of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 for Steam and mobile.
Why?
Why is that not on Switch? I mean,
okay.
I'm fine with, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not going to, I just like that, like, why would you not? Like, that seems like low hanging fruit. And maybe that's something Nintendo will announce.
It's kind of weird that they didn't, to be honest with you, because
Yeah.
the Steam's already taken, no pun intended, because, like, who cares? The announcement's there. You might as well just get it all out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they paid. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people do pay Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo to get their game on like these directs. Like, so maybe they've paid because the platform holders generally have the bigger audience. So maybe that's something we'll get Tuesday, but it seemed like such low hanging fruit.
Speaking of Tuesday, are we all in for watching it on Tuesday here? Not you, Devin? Or you got it off? Or well, you
I've
work
been
midnight,
off.
so
I
you're
told
just
you
gonna
this.
wake up or not go to
No.
sleep.
Hmm?
I said you got it off, or are you just not going to go to sleep or something?
Dude, I don't work Tuesday.
Oh, okay. And so, all right. What about you, John? Do you have to go to your new job or anything?
I will be at my new job, and I have a meeting an hour before that. But I'm going to make sure I'm on this stream. I made David just a smidgen.
No way.
Okay.
All meetings are like
Just a smidge.
No. If I have to, like, oh man, Katie needs to go to the hospital. No, I won't do that. I won't be personal. I'm not gonna lie to my church job. But no, I will make sure that I am there. And
the
if
problem I'm trying to figure out is how to get all four of us on camera also reacting. I can definitely get me and all of our voices, but I don't know about all of us. Or
Well, if it doesn't work out, like I said, just do the whole voice thing.
yeah, but it'd be way cooler for you just.
I would,
see.
yeah, I would prefer to have everyone on screen. That's just
we
why.
have to admit that David's faith sells the show.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
that's-
He's the eye candy.
I mean,
Yeah, if we could
it's
figure
so
out,
young. And a Nintendo showcase is meant for someone so young.
I might be able to figure out. Well, one of the problems, John creates a new problem. Like, I have a way that I'm thinking of doing it, but it has to be set exactly like this to me to get a template. But if John isn't here in the beginning of the stream, then I can't get the template.
I could be logged on.
Okay, that would.
You might just have me running to a chair at some point.
If you could be logged on to Discord, then that would solve that problem.
We'll get it solved.
We'll
Most
figure
of
it
the-
out.
We can talk about it after the show. I'll
Pretty
need
small
I'll need
size.
us to all stay on for a couple minutes so I can create a template actually. But okay, we got 6 more minutes. Let's talk. What do you guys want about E3 though? I mean, it's upon us. We missed it last year. It's upon us.
Well, Ken, did you see the fact that GameStop goofed,
poster?
or at least we we
No.
think they goofed up?
Not the poster. Not the Zelda poster.
Wait,
No,
whoa,
they
whoa,
put-
stop! Don't say anything. I didn't see anything though. All I know about GameStop is a poster.
Can I reveal this, please?
He's talking. Ken
No,
thinks it's
I don't
Zelda.
know nothing. I don't know nothing. Oh wait, is it the new
it's not Zelda.
Nintendo Switch? I saw
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. They put on their website $50 trade credit towards new Nintendo Switch, Switch Lite, and Xbox Series X and S.
Okay.
And listed like
That's
old
very
Nintendo
specific
Switch,
wording.
Right.
and they listed old Nintendo Switch in their what they would give trade credit for.
hmm
Yeah.
and it
but-
follows true when they did 3DS. They did the 3DS XL, and then they did the new 3DS XL.
XL.
So
Yeah.
it follows through.
The main thing that makes me believe in that leak or rumor, whatever you want to call it, is the fact that they put a capital N on the new in the middle of a sentence, therefore making it a proper noun. But I don't know. It's
That's a lot of smoke. That like,
Yeah.
if this house isn't on fire, then there's like a serious problem somewhere.
I don't know.
Let's say they do this. Like when they did the new 3DS XL, they were like, "Okay, we're doing this. Here it is. Here's everything about it. It's up for pre-order. Go." Will you do it?
Yes. Like,
Especially
is
because
that a
the
real
new
question?
3DS X, yeah. No, I'm saying, especially with the new 3DS XL, I wish I could reach it when they did the Majora's Mask one. That was one of the first special editions that they released. Would you definitely do that? Especially because they would probably have a Zelda edition at that
well,
point.
yeah, if it's Zelda, like no doubt. But even just, I would just get a new one regardless. Like, I don't even know why I would get a new one. Like, I wonder what the features it would have. Like, what if the features are just a little quality of life? Like, it has an Ethernet port, or the screen's bigger. Like, I mean, I don't know.
The
like,
Ethernet port, well, they're definitely going to fix something with the Joy-Con, with everybody, in my opinion, breaking their Joy-Cons and causing that drift.
Ethernet port.
But the Ethernet port, they're going to do something to the Joy-Con and probably a bigger screen.
But
Well,
honestly, is that enough for me? Like, I hardly ever play in handheld. I have the Ethernet adapter. You know, it's stupid, but it
Fidelity.
still works.
For you, Ken, since you're playing on docked mode, I mean, don't you care about a little bit more juice, like in terms of frame rate? Like, what if you could play Age of Calamity with no lag?
It'd be nice, but I don't know. I just not in the mindset of Nintendo, like being the Xbox. You know, like
This is weird, but I thought the same thing when the Wii U was came to life and we were playing Mario titles and Zelda titles for the first time in HD.
Yeah,
So
and I agree with that statement. Even so, maybe I just got to be like, oh, okay. Like maybe I just don't know.
You kind of sounded like Mario just now. You guys hear that?
Oh, okay. Like, I mean, I'll do it just because I'm an idiot, but like for the most part, like I can't really like. Oh, I can play it in 4K now. Like,
I will say, like there have been a Forbes rumor of there being an OLED screen on this tablet, which is going. I mean, the Vita had one of those. That screen is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
right, but I don't even
Right.
play that much in handheld, and even if I did,
Well, you know,
It's there though.
it's there. You know, I mean, you
And
know,
I
right
play-
now.
I
don't get
play
me
Monster
wrong, I'm
Hunter.
gonna buy it, but I'm not buying it for like any reason other than
Nintendo told me to.
yeah.
so I'm
That's
going to.
literally the only reason why I'm gonna buy it. Like, and I'll be like, oh, cool. And then whatever features it adds to that, I'll just add it to my repertoire of why the Switch is superior. But I'll just do that regardless. I'm just gonna blindly tell everybody that the Switch is superior to any product ever to exist, no matter what.
So, but I have to ask this. We know Ken's answer to this. It would be a Zelda. Like John and David, if there was a special edition Switch, new Nintendo Switch that they released that day, what theme would it be for you, John?
Oh, wait, are you asking which one would I buy immediately?
Yeah, like if they said, "Oh, there's a special edition Switch for so and so game," like they did the Animal Crossing and Pokemon and whatever the hell else they did, I forget.
I mean,
What theme would that console have?
I mean, Botwa 2, Breath of the Wild 2 would be definitely intriguing, but since that answer is probably taken, I mean, since I got the Pokemon Switch Lite, if they made a Pokemon Arceus, right? That's the open world one.
Yeah.
If they made a new Switch or Switch Pro, Pokemon Arceus, I would be down because that game looks awesome.
And that game would run really nice on the Pro, and it would be beautiful, and it would give the developers a chance to make it even prettier than it would be on base Switch.
So, David, what would your theme of the console be?
Theme? Like if there was
like they did with like the Animal Crossing Switch. What
Nice.
would that
Yeah,
new console's theme be?
Ooh.
And I'm not saying just like a different colored Joy-Con like they did the Splatoon, like design on the back, full boat, everything.
I really like that Mario one, the red and blue. I think
I
that
do too.
that is like a really nice, bold color
I told
scheme.
myself, like, if they ever made a Luigi one, it would be instant
Hunter
dollars
said
at
the
the
same
fucking
thing.
screen.
Actually. You want to know what a nightmare scenario for me is? That they do a Zelda one, but they'd also do a Link one and a Ganon one. Like
Beyond surprised that they haven't done it yet.
3 different Switches to represent the 3 Triforces. That's a nightmare scenario for me.
Do you realize the scalper market on those things?
That would be-
You never find them.
Retail, you would be looking at buying $1,200 worth of console.
Exactly. Like for
But
and then
you
what-
have the Triforce then.
and then what do I do? Do I open just one? No.
Do you open all of them?
Do I? And I'm definitely not going to open all of them. So then I'm actually buying 4. You see what I mean? That's a nightmare
my
scenario.
Daddy Nintendo's got his hand in our wallets already.
I want the nightmare scenario. I just want to be watching. Like, I don't even care if I'm on the live stream. I just want to be watching your face.
Oh my god, no way, dude. That is literally, it is the anti what I want thing to happen. I want it to happen, but you just get what you. It's like the corrupt a wish. Oh, I wish for a Zelda console. 3. No.
I with this E3 from Nintendo, I think we need to get our pre-order fingers ready. I really think they're going to drop some crazy.
I just have a question,
and it's going to be day one right there.
Is E3 upon us or is E3 upon us?
Nice.
That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's 9:02. That's a good note to end on.
Yeah, it's 8:02. We got to go, and then we got to set up. Don't you guys leave. I got to set up the for Tuesday if we're going to do this.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone, we're going to live stream. It's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
11 a.m. for me.
What?
11 a.m. for me. I'm off work.
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay. David's in Texas. So at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be here streaming it. You will see me fanboy out to everything Zelda. Or I will, literally walk off a cliff if there's no Zelda announcement. If he says, I know you want Zelda, but not going to happen.
Dude, if Onuma walks out and says, we have nothing to show you at this time.
I will literally get up and walk off the stream. You guys will handle it, and the stream will continue forever until the power goes out because I will never return.
You will have moved over, kids.
Hey,
Yes.
I've been with Ken when he was the most hyped. I wouldn't want to be with him when he's the most pissed.
You don't. So anyways, guys.
If they're going to do that, I hope they tweet it out beforehand and not say it on the show. That was such a buzzkill during the direct. Just tweet it.
Yeah, Nintendo, you better
We
tweet.
didn't
You better
give you Breath of the Wild, but here's Skyward Sword.
Yeah. Gosh.
I'm excited. 2 days from now, guys.
2 days from now. We'll see you guys then. You probably, even if you don't watch it with us live so you can see it, come and watch it, our reactions anyways after the fact. So guys, we'll see you later. Have a good night and see you Tuesday.